In the last segment, we talked about the Son of God, the person of the Son of God, the earthly life of the Son of God, and the ministry of the Son of God. And we start the teaching off by talking about God the Father of all, God the Father of Christ, God the Father of believers. And we want to conclude our teaching under the heading, Understanding God's Being. Now, we want to talk about the Holy Spirit. And we're going to talk about the person of the Holy Spirit in this segment. We want to look at Ephesians chapter 4, verse number 3. I'm reading from the New King James. Endeavoring to keep the unity of the Spirit in the bond of peace. The person of the Holy Spirit, one of the most serious errors in the minds of many people concerning the Holy Spirit is that he is simply a principle or an influence. I want to read that again. One of the most serious errors in the minds of many people concerning the Holy Spirit is that he is simply a principle or an influence. On contrary, the Holy Spirit is as much a person, individual existence of a conscious being as the Father and the Son. First, the personality of the Holy Spirit. The Bible speaks of the mind of the Spirit. Romans chapter 8, verse 27. And will, 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 11. Of the Holy Spirit, he is often described as speaking directly to men in the book of Acts. During Paul's second missionary journey, the apostle was forbidden by the Spirit to visit a certain mission. You will find that in Acts chapter 16, verse 6 and 7. And then was instructed to proceed toward another field service in Acts chapter 16, verse 10. It was God's Spirit who spoke directly to Christians leaders in the Antioch church, commanding them to send Paul and Barnabas on their first missionary journey. That's in Acts chapter 13, verse number 2. And next, the deity of the Holy Spirit. He is not only a real person, but he is also God. As is God the Father, he is everywhere at once. You will find that in Psalm 139, verse 7. As the Son is eternal, the Holy Spirit has also existed forever. Hebrews chapter 9, verse 14. He is often referred to as God in the Bible. You can look at Acts chapter 5, verse 3 and verse 4. Finally, the Holy Spirit is equal with the Father and Son. This is seen during the baptism of Christ in Matthew chapter 3, verse 16 and 17, and is mentioned by Jesus himself just prior to his ascension from the Mount of Olives in Matthew chapter 28, verse 19 and 20. I want you to look back over these scriptures, read them, run reference, meditate on them. We're going to continue in our next segment.